Many of the videos that I'm putting out, they're kind of designed for people who are quitting no matter how they're doing it or where they're doing it. They're doing it on their own, they're doing it through other groups, they're doing it through online support sites, and I'm trying to put out stuff to help people, again, no matter what. There's some videos that I'm making, though, that are kind of specific to the Freedom site through whyquit.com. Even though some of the messages in there are pertinent to other people and can be helpful, they don't have to be Freedom members, some of the messages are pretty specific to Freedom. This is going to be one of those videos. The concepts will apply to other people too, but you'll understand when I get into what I'm getting into, why it is specific to Freedom members. We have a string that I kick up whenever someone at Freedom posts something, which really is a conventional wisdom kind of idea. That kind of, you'll see all these other places, and many of these things sound really good in theory, but in many cases, conventional quitting wisdoms are wrong. They are things that will undercut people's ability to either start a quit or to continue a quit. And we want to be very careful at the site because people come in to read there to understand what they can do to enhance their chances. And when somebody comes in and posts something on the board, it's not just being read by, experienced quitters. It's being read by people looking for information on how to quit and thinking that if it's at our board, that we're thinking that's a pretty good idea. It's on our board. And I suspect a few new members kind of could get upset at times when they post something well-meaning. They're putting out what they've heard elsewhere, which sounds really good to them. And they're putting it out, and we basically will come in and correct it. People don't like being corrected. But the problem is, again, they're not the only people being influenced here. Every word written on the board has the ability to influence everybody who reads at the board. And there's a lot of readers at these boards, a lot more than you would think. And you can go and I think look at daily statistics, and you'll see generally there's hundreds of people reading at the site any given day. And it may not look like it by the number of posts, but they are. So every word being written has the ability to influence others. And we want to make sure that if there's words out there that's going to influence people, they're being influenced by things that have, the best chance of success. Now, some things that are like conventional wisdoms, ones that you will often hear is people say, well, you got to pick a quit date. Well, we got whole videos, covering that aspect now of how most people who quit don't pick quit dates. They just go ahead and quit smoking. Some people, put down how they carry cigarettes, and they were advised that they should carry cigarettes with them when they quit to show how strong they are. Again, we got whole videos covering it. It's conventional wisdom that can very well undercut people's quits. One that I saw today at another site where they were talking about how it only takes you 30 days, to break a habit. That's conventional wisdom. It means nothing. You don't break habits in 30 days. You don't necessarily do the routine that the habit's associated to in 30 days. You may not do it for, 30 months. And the first time you encounter the specific trigger, again, you will break it when you get through that experience, but not by getting through the time. It's by getting through the experience. There's just innumerable ones there's too many to really, just discuss here. If you go through all the videos, you'll see all of them have little ideas in there that are often going against what are considered state-of-the-art techniques. State-of-the-art techniques are riddled with conventional wisdom on how to quit smoking. So I'm putting this out there, I don't want to say as a warning because it sounds like, an authoritative kind of thing, but just to help people understand when they become members of the site and now have ability to post, they have a responsibility to know what they're talking about. And we want them to read a lot at the site to learn our philosophies. And if they're going to share things which are, tried and true. And I guess the real word in there is true, because a lot of the things which are conventional wisdoms, again, they sound really good, but they're not true. They don't work in real world settings. We really want people who are members in the beginning to spend a lot of time reading. I know at times, and again, we'll correct this often when it happens too, where somebody will come in and say to other members like, oh yeah, if you really want to keep this quit going, what you got to do is you got to post, you got to post, you got to post. No, you got to read, you got to read, you got to read. Time for posting may come, okay, as you learn more and more, and when you start to see people raise issues that you had early on, and all of a sudden you realize, oh, I read this. I remember there was this specific, issue that I dealt with and found material on the site and then pointed people to it. That's a good time to post. And again, if you have questions, if you're having concerns, that's a good reason to post. But when you're doing that, again, you're not generally trying to teach other people. You're trying to get information for yourself. You will get to a point where if you want to be able to teach, you will, but you better understand what the information is you're trying to teach. It's kind of like going into a school, and the first day as a student, you want to teach the rest of the class all the things you've learned. That's not why you're there. You're not getting your money's worth if that's where you're spending your time. Teaching people things you know already. Why are you there? You should be a teacher. You shouldn't be a student anymore. Come to learn. Again, that's why this video is real specific to people who are in the Freedom site, because they have the ability to influence others. But for people who are members of the Freedom site, what I want you to understand here is if you're reading there, you really are going to learn the philosophies we think will give you your best chance of success. We will try to expose things if they show up on the board, which are conventional quitting wisdoms, which may not be in your best interest to do. If you decide to do them anyway, it's your choice. You won't be able to influence other people at our site. That's all we're worried about. And again, we're not just talking about our members. We're talking about readers at our site. That is our concern. That we give you consistent messages, again, following philosophies that we believe will give you the best chance of success. One thing I want to point out, if you go to the Why Quit site, there is a tip sheet in the library that gives I think there's about 20 different suggestions, tips that you can implement if you want to quit smoking. And that's something that people may want to go and look to. Those are generally things that we have, thought of over years to help people, in the initial quitting phase, just ideas and concepts of things that can really enhance their quit. That is something, again, that if people have questions and you're trying to figure out, what to direct them to on specific issues, you can find, some very specific suggestions and again, tips on how to stay off, how to quit smoking and how to stay off smoking. Again, I want everyone to feel welcome, whether they're members or non-members, to reading at the site. And we want them to feel safe and secure that what they're reading is what we think are going to be in their best interest of quitting and of staying off. All the articles and strings that we're going to refer, they're probably going to end with one common theme running throughout. It's a theme that can help you start your quit and can help you keep that quit going forever. That theme is, if you really want to quit and stay free for the rest of your life, it's a matter of making and sticking to a personal commitment to never take another puff.